There's a kind of tiredness that no amount of sleep can fix. You wake up after 8 hours, and somehow, you still feel heavy. Not in your body, but somewhere deeper. Like your soul's been carrying invisible weight for years. People ask, what's wrong? And you can't really answer, because it's not one thing. It's 1,000 little cuts that never healed. A quiet exhaustion that builds, drop by drop, until you're drowning in still water. You're not lazy, you're depleted. This isn't weakness, it's where, when you've been running on emotional fumes for too long, your brain stops searching for joy and starts searching for survival. That's what psychologists call emotional exhaustion, when your output has outpaced your input for so long that even happiness feels like a foreign language. You still smile, you still function, but everything inside feels muted. See, the world rewards the ones who keep going. It praises the fighter, not the feeler. You're celebrated for showing up, but never for slowing down. We're taught that rest is earned, but if you wait to earn rest, you'll never rest at all, because in modern life, there's always more to prove, more to fix, more to become, until you forget how to simply be. And maybe that's the real fatigue, not from doing too much, but from being too much for everyone else. You've carried emotions you never unpacked, expectations you never agreed to, and responsibilities you never asked for. That kind of weight doesn't just make you tired, it makes you numb. There's a word for it, anhedonia. It's when joy disappears quietly, not because you don't care, but because caring started to hurt too much, so you withdraw. You cancel plans. You sit in silence, not because you hate people, but because your nervous system can't take one more demand. That isn't giving up, that's self. When the world gets too loud, silence becomes a form of safety. But listen closely, this tiredness is not the end, it's a message. Your exhaustion is your soul whispering. Something in your life is no longer aligned with who you are. And yes, that hurts. But it's also the beginning of healing, because meaning is medicine. When you start asking, what's the point? You're not falling apart. You're waking up. Viktor Frankl once said, those who have a why can bear almost any how. When you rediscover your why, your energy doesn't return all at once. It comes back in small moments. The laugh that feels real again. The song that suddenly hits again. The breath that feels full again. And maybe the goal isn't to erase your tiredness, but to understand it. To see it as a compass, pointing you toward a life that actually fits. Maybe it's a job that's draining you. A mask that's too heavy. A pace that's breaking you. Whatever it is, your fatigue isn't failure. It's feedback. You don't need to rebuild your life overnight. You just need to start with honesty. Ask yourself, what drains me? What nourishes me? What do I keep pretending doesn't hurt? When you start listening, everything changes. You stop performing and start existing again. You stop surviving and start living. Gently, imperfectly, but truly. Because peace was never hiding behind perfection. It was always waiting behind permission. Your permission to rest, to feel, to be real. So if you're tired of existing right now, pause, breathe. You're not broken, you're becoming. And that's not the end of your story. It's the moment it finally starts to make sense.